Good morning, students. Welcome back to Atmiya Green School. This is Afrin Sayed, your English teacher. Students, today we are starting from our PT3, that is Raoul the Owl. Okay, now owls. When you were younger, you might have listened various stories regarding owls and mm, various other birds. Here also we have a story of a Raoul the owl. Okay, so before we start reading with the chapter, let's go through the short video which will give you a summary kind of thing. Once you are through the video, I'll explain the chapter while reading. Okay, so let's start.
On an old hollow tree near the edge of the thick woods lived a family of owls.
Okay, on the topmost
On an old hollow tree near the edge of the thick woods lived a family of owls.
Okay, so what is here in a dense wood? In a dense wood means in a dense forest, there lived a family of a owl, and on the topmost branch there lived the youngest owl. So the youngest owl of the family lived into the topmost branch. Raoul, he was polite and cheerful. He was very polite and cheerful owl.
Topmost branch lived the youngest owl, Raoul. He was polite and cheerful, but he had a serious problem for an owl. He couldn't see in the dark.
Yes, but he had a serious problem for an owl. Like for an owl, it was a very serious problem because he could not see in the dark. Students, owl, he was an owl and he was not able to see in the dark.
Every evening, his family would wake up, yawn, stretch, and start out. Raoul.
So every morning, every evening, like
every evening,
for owls, the day start when the day is ending. When our day is ending, the day usually starts. So every evening, his family would wake up, yawn, stretch, and start out. So his family used to wake up, they used to yawn and then stretch themselves out and then fly away. But
family would wake up, yawn, stretch, and start out. Raoul would blink and peer and strain his eyes, but all remained dark.
yes,
When the moon was
he tried a lot. He strained his eyes, he cleaned his eyes, but nothing could help him. He cannot see anything in the dark.
up, he could dimly see the shapes of trees, but
Yes, even if he try, then he can see the shapes of the tree, but very faded, very a blur image used to get appear.
he had to fly very slowly and close to the ground.
Yes, and therefore he has to fly very slowly, and that too close to the ground. Because if he was not able to think properly, if things were not really visible to him, then there is a lot of possibility that he would get clash with a huge tree and then fell down.
It was impossible for him to hunt. He had to go home early and wait to be fed.
Yes. Now look, students. You can see in the picture that he is very close to the ground. Okay.
He had to fly very slowly and close to the ground. Since it was impossible for him to hunt, he had to go home early and wait to be.
Yes. Since like he was it was so difficult for him to fly. It was so difficult for him to go out as he cannot see. Now if flying was such a task for him, then how difficult task was it is for him to hunt. So what he has to do, he has to just wait that someone will come and they will feed him. because it was impossible for him to hunt.
Fed. His brothers brought him some dinner in turns. However, they constantly laughed and hooted at Raoul's inability to hunt.
Yes, students. His brothers used to bring something for him to eat, but they always laughed at Rahul that he cannot hunt, that he don't have ability to hunt. So they used to always laugh at Owl, and they used to say that you cannot do anything. They used to tease him. They used to make fun of him.
Raoul hated this. At last, Raoul could not stand it any longer. This won't do, he said firmly to himself.
Then one fine day, he realized that this won't do. कहाँ तक वो इस तरीके से अपने ब्रदर्स पे डिपेंडेंट रहेगा, कहाँ तक वो जैसा खिलाएंगे वैसे वो खाएगा, और कहाँ तक वो सब उनके ताने सहन करेगा, ये सवाल आ गया था अभी. So he says that I have to do something. Okay, so he decided. There was a fire of determination over here.
I will have to change my habits. And then and there, he made up his mind to do something daring. He decided to sleep all night and wake up in the morning when the
Yes. So what he decided? He decided that he'll sleep all night and he'll wake up in the morning.
And then and there, he made up his mind to do something daring. He decided to sleep all night and wake up in the morning. When the family heard of the decision, mother and father were very upset.
Yes. Now he discussed his decision with his family, and when he discussed that he'll sleep all night and he'll wake up in the morning, the family was very upset because this wasn't the culture of their family. What they are supposed to do, they are supposed to wake up, stay awake in night, and they are supposed to sleep during the day. But it was exactly opposite the case with the Raul. Okay, he was helpless because he was not even able to see a single thing during a dark time. So it was so difficult for him to hunt, and it was so difficult for him to survive a life which was so dependent on others. Okay, so when mother and father listened about this, they were very upset. Like we also, our parents also, always expect us to be normal. They expect us to follow some things, few things in our life, and if we don't follow such things, then they become upset with us. Okay, like we have a culture of sleeping early at night and waking up early in the morning. Okay, but if we are not waking up early in the morning, and if we are sleeping late at night, or we are staying all night awake, then this upsets our parents. Okay, they feel hurt, they feel that we don't listen them. Okay, so this was the case with Raul. Now Raul was supposed to sleep at night, during daytime, but he decided that he will sleep at night and wake up in the morning.
Whoever has heard of such a thing? Mother cried and almost fainted.
His mother was so disheartened. His mother was so heartbroken that she thought that who have thought of such day? किसने इस दिन के बारे में सोचा था? And she was almost fainted. Disgraceful, said father. Father said, this is disgraceful. ये तो गलत है, ये बहुत शर्म वाली बात है. None of our family has ever done such thing. He says that no one was in our family who has done such thing. So both mother and father are very upset.
Disgraceful, said father. None of our family has ever done such a thing. Rufus, one of the middle brothers, who read a lot, said, no, Arctic owls hunt diurnally. That is, during the long daylight hours.
Yes, listen students.
Rufus, one of the middle brothers.
Students? Rufus was a middle brother. Rufus was a middle brother who reads a lot. He likes to read. Okay, he likes to read, and one who likes to read have a lot of knowledge. Okay, so Rufus was one of the middle brother and who reads a lot. So he
who
says,
read a lot, said, "No, Arctic owls hunt
He says that no, Arctic owls hunt diurnally, that is during the long daylight hours. He says that there are owls, they are Arctic owls, where they used to hunt, or they are hunting during the daylight, they are hunting during the daytime. They don't hunt at night like us. So it is not different.
diurnally, that is, during the long daylight hours." "We are not Arctic owls," cried father coldly.
So father got angry on him and said, "Listen, we are not Arctic owls, okay?" Now, the older brother laughed raucously. Ho ho ho, maybe he isn't even an owl. So, his older brother's name was Raucous. His older brother name was Raucous. He laughed and he said, "I guess he's not even an owl." He was teasing, he was making fun of him.
The older brothers laughed raucously. "Ho, ho! Maybe he isn't even an owl." "He's your brother," father said.
Now, father said, "He is your brother. Please leave him alone. Give him some time."
"Please leave him alone." Then he turns to Raoul and said gently, "If you insist, you can try. But remember to be a good owl always."
Yes, his father is very supporting. He says that if you insist, then you can try. But remember to be a good owl always. Like our parents, when we ask something to do something which is out of our culture, then they always ask us. Sometimes they are very understanding towards us. They gives us permission. Like if I want to go for a late night party, they might not agree. Suddenly, but when they realize that maybe it's our happiness, or it is something which I really want to do, then they get agree with my suggestion. They give me permission to go out, and but they always ask me that remember to be a good girl. So just like that, here's Raul's father ask him that if you want to sleep at night and want to be awake during a daytime, you can do, but remember, you have to be a very good owl. You have to listen, you have to maintain the prestige of our house. Now, father patted mother's wing and whispered.
Father patted mother's wings and whispered, "Don't worry, my dear. He'll soon change his mind."
Look, mothers are always a figure who are very much worried and tense about their children, who are in a constant fear that what will happen with their children. So, what he does, he says that don't worry about him, he will be fine soon and he'll change his mind. Okay.
Following morning, when his family was going to bed, Raoul got up, stretched.
So, next morning, when his family was going to bed, he got up and just stepped outside.
And stepped outside. He sidled out on the branch and looked about. "Wow!" he shouted. He could see everything, and there was so much to see. A bright, hot, yellow thing in the sky. The forest, brown and green. Far away meadows, green, full of flowers. Raoul spread his wings and flew out.
Yes, they have described that how beautiful it was. All over flowers, the shiny daylight, hotness and sweetness of the flowers, and everything was very beautiful. And Raul was enjoying every bit of it. Raul was loving every bit of nature. Raul was enjoying the new world. Raul was enjoying that he can see everything around him. Raul was very happy. He had never seen so many colors in his whole life.
Never seen so many colors in his whole life. He felt so good that he flew upside down and did barrel rolls and loop-the-loops.
He was so happy. Like when we are happy, we dance with the happiness. We just shake our hands and body, and we just want to. Sometimes we shout with the happiness. So just like that, here Raul was also very happy, and he was looping and looping. He was going upside down.
was hungry. He spied a small mouse behind an old barn. He swooped down on it. "Oh, please, Mr. Hawk, let me go," squeaked the sad little mouse, holding his little hands together. Raoul's heart was touched.
Now, what happened? There was a little mouse, there was a little rat. What happened? And he thought that he was an hawk. And he says, oh, please let me go. Don't do that to me. Okay. And Raoul's heart was touched because Raoul was very kind-hearted. He cannot hurt anyone. He cannot break someone's heart. Okay. So he let the mouse go free.
He let the mouse go free. "But why do you call me a hawk?" he asked. The shivering mouse slowly looked up and said, "Good heavens, you are not a hawk, you are an owl."
What happened? Owl asked that why did you call me hawk? I am not a hawk. So mouse says, "Oh God heaven, you are not a hawk, you are an owl. What on earth are you doing out in the daytime? Are you crazy?" So he's asking that you are an owl, but an owl can never be seen during the daytime. How is it possible that you are here in the daytime? Are you crazy?
"What on earth are you doing in daytime? Are you crazy?" "I don't think you ought to be so rude. After all, I could have eaten you."
So Raoul says that, oh, come on, suppose you are not supposed to be rude towards me because I would have ate you, but I didn't. I left you, I spared you, and you are being rude towards me. So mouse says, "I'm sorry," said the mouse. "Please forgive me that I have never heard of an owl flying during a day."
I am sorry," said the mouse. "Please forgive me, but I have never heard of an owl flying during day." Raoul explained everything.
And then Raoul shared his pain, Raoul shared his entire story with the little mouse. So, what does the mouse say? Let's listen.
"That is the bravest thing I ever heard of," said the mouse.
So, the mouse says that is something the bravest I have ever heard, because it is very brave to do something which is out of the box. It is very much it is work of courage, that doing something or expecting something which is not part of our life. Okay, so he says, "Thanks, but I am very hungry." So Raoul says that, "Thank you so much, but I am very hungry for now."
"Thanks, but I am very hungry," cried Raoul. "My name is Bertram. What is yours?" asked the mouse.
Now, what's the name of the mouse? Mouse name is Bertram. It's Bertram. Okay, and he's asking about the Raoul. Now Raoul says, "Raoul, nice to meet you, Bertram."
"Raoul, nice to meet you, Bertram. Will you eat cheese?" asked Bertram, hurrying back from the barn with a piece of cheese.
Look, he's so sweet. He got a piece of cheese with him. He says, "We will eat cheese." So he got along. He went to his hole and got a cheese for both of them. Raoul picked that. Too sticky.
Raoul pecked at it. "Oof, too sticky. How about corn?" asked Bertram, bringing kernels from his winter store.
And he found out corns. He bought his corns that too from his winter store. It's too hard, Raoul says.
"Hard? Aha!" cried Bertram. "You're a bird, aren't you? What about some bird seed?" Bertram ran into the big house beyond the barn and returned with a discarded box of bird seed.
Now, what he says? That yes. Little mouse says, that is Bertram says, that you are a bird. You will like to eat bird seeds. So then he went again fast. Look, you can see in the video. I'll play it again. He is so sweet that he runs again towards his barn and gets the bird seed for him.
Asked Bertram, hurrying back from the barn with a piece of cheese. Raoul pecked at it. "Oof, too sticky. How about corn? Asked Bertram, bringing kernels from his winter store. Oup! Too hard. Aha! Cried Bertram. You're a bird, aren't you? What about some bird seed? Bertram ran into the big house beyond the barn and returned with a discarded box of bird seed. Delicious! Raoul cried.
And finally, now Raoul was able to eat something and he says, "It's delicious." After lunch, he took Bertram for a ride on his back.
After lunch, he took Bertram for a ride on his back. The mouse explained to him about the flowers, bees, and many other things.
So what happened? That Raoul took Bertram on his back, and Bertram explained about those trees and birds and flowers around him.
By evening, Raoul was ready to go home. The two friends promised to meet again.
Yes, by the evening they promised each other. Now it was a time because it was about to get dark, so it was a time for Raoul to get back his home. But the two friends, the two best friends, that was Raoul and Red, basically a mouse, they promised each other to meet again. He met his family next morning as they came in.
He met his family next morning as they came in. My poor boy, said Mother, embracing him. You must have had a terrible time. No.
So Mother is saying that it might be very difficult for you. It might be a very terrible experience for him. She was feeling sad about Raoul. He was feeling very sad about Raoul. She was feeling very sad about the Raoul.
Said Raoul cheerfully. It was fun. You must be starving. Here, eat this lovely mouse Father got for you.
So, now what happened? Like, she says that you might have a very terrible time and you might be starving with the hunger, because she thought that he might have not ate anything from a long time, but he had already had a good food. So he says, "Come on, eat this mouse, your father got it for you."
Time. No, said Raoul cheerfully. It was fun. You must be starving. Here, eat this lovely mouse Father got for you. Mouse? Cried Raoul. That would be awful. My best friend is a mouse. Oh.
So he says that no, I cannot eat the mouse because my best friend is mouse. How can I eat that mouse? Oh, the sun is affecting my child's brain, cried Mother as she again got ready to faint. So what happens when he says that I cannot eat the mouse because mouse is my best friend? Okay, so he says that the very harsh sunlight is affecting my child's brain, and then again she was ready to get faint.
Oh, the sun is affecting my child's brain, cried Mother as she again got ready to faint. Raoul politely showed his family the box of birdseed and flew off into the sunrise. Bertram was waiting. They met families of robins and rabbits. The sun shone brightly. By noon, Raoul said, Bertram, perhaps Father and Mother are right. I cannot see too well now. Now, don't be hasty. You have done very well so far. I think...
So what happened? Then they met with some other families, that is of rabbits and everything, but one day Raoul says that maybe Mother and Father are right, that I cannot see too well. So here his mouse, being his best friend, he is encouraging him that come on, don't give up, you are doing so well. I think you are not used to sunlight.
You are not used to the sunlight. Even the people in the big house are dazzled by too much sunshine.
He says that people living in a big houses also get dazzled with this bright sunlight. Okay, so it is not a big deal. So Raoul asks, are they? What do you think about that?
They? Asked Raoul. What do they do about that? Bertram snapped his fingers. I know, just wait here. After some time, he came out of the hole from the big house's junkyard, dragging a pair of toy sunglasses.
Look, this is so cute. The little mouse got a pair of sunglasses from his backyard and asked him to wear. Because he says, actually, Raoul asked that when he says, when little mouse Bertram said that even people living in a big houses is don't like to come out in a harsh sunlight. So he says that what do they do? So he came up with a pair of sunglasses.
Bertram helped him wear it by tying the earpieces together with grass. "This is wonderful," said Raoul. "It is soothing." Days flew by happily. One Sunday, at dusk, as Raoul got home, he heard his family talking to the neighbors. "Our Raoul flies in the sunlight. First owl to do it ever. Real genius. Nothing can keep a good owl down."
So, what happened, students? One day he heard his family saying that our Raoul can fly in the daylight and is the first owl to do so. Okay, and it's such a work of bravery.
Talking to the neighbors. "Our Raoul flies in the sunlight. First owl to do it ever. Real genius. Nothing can keep a good owl down." Raoul slipped into his bed, content, singing, "Do it! Do it!"
Yes, and he slept peacefully. Then he slept peacefully. Students, what's the moral of the story is? The moral of the story is that no matter how hard the time is, or no matter what your disability is, or what is your inability, don't focus on your inability. Focus on what you can do. Focus on what is something you can achieve. Focus on something what always just ignore your loopholes and just work on your strengths, just like Raoul did. He cannot see in the dark, but he can see in the daylight. So he took his advantage of able to see in the daylight and explore his life. And how of course initially his parents were worried about him. His parents were a bit much conscious about this culture, but then they realized that their owl was genius and he did something which no one can do. They were so proud of him. Okay, students, so always don't lose your moral, don't lose your courage. Always be strong, be brave, and be ready to face whatever the circumstances are. Okay, now here the very important role is played by the little mouse Bertram. Bertram had gave so much to him. So remember, students, if there is someone who have some something which he cannot do anything about, okay, it is something which is given by God to him, or there is an inability with him, then always encourage that person. Always let him know that no, he is not ordinary, he is more special to God. Okay, let him realize his ability, let him realize its strengths, and always keep supporting so that they can go on doing well. Be like a Bertram and owl. Thank you so much, students. I hope it was very much easier to understand. Okay, so I have made you watch the entire video. Along with that, I have went reading and explaining you the chapter. So I hope it is very much clear to you all. You might have not any doubts with this chapter. I request you, students, just to go through the chapter once, read the chapter once, so that it becomes more clearer and easier for you. Okay, thank you so much, students. Have a very good day.